Alright, so with the introduction of the CB-01 and Season 6 of the finals, the medium class officially has 3 long-ranged weapons that aren't fully automatic. Yes, I'm counting the Revolver as a long-ranged weapon in this case because everybody I know, including you, has fallen victim to the R sniper. Jokes aside, the 3 weapons we'll be looking at today are the Pike-556, the R357 Revolver, and the CB-01 Repeater. Going in order of the weapon's release, we have the Revolver. It's only been changed a couple of times throughout the game's life, and for the most part, those changes were Embark's desperate attempt to try and nerf it into an actual handgun, and not the potshot sniper that it was on release. Unfortunately for you, and me, and literally everybody else, the Revolver continues to be an absolute menace because the damage drop-off nerfs did absolutely nothing. Despite being over half a year younger than the Revolver, the Pike has experienced more changes than 90% of the other weapons and gadgets in the finals. The only one that it's really losing out to is the stun gun. Sorry, buddy. Embark just can't seem to make up its mind with this thing. When the gun was first released in Season 4, it did a horrific 59 damage, allowing the player to 2-tap lights, 2-tap mediums, and 3-tap heavies, all with basically no recoil. With the recent changes, it's kind of helped to balance out the weapon, but the Pike's pick rate kind of plummeted midway through Season 4 when Embark nerfed it into the ground, driving its damage all the way down to 47 from 59. While it doesn't really stand in the spotlight that it used to, the Pike is still astonishingly good despite the fat brutality that it's faced from the developers, and if you can aim, you could probably use this gun, so I highly suggest it. Last and certainly least on this list, the newest long-range weapon introduced in Season 6 was the CB-01 Repeater, and so far the Repeater was neglected in the recent season patch because Embark claimed that there are mixed reviews surrounding its power levels. After watching the testing portion of this video, you'll see why this was a really dumb decision, and just looking at its stats, you can tell that the CB-01 is the lonely middle child of the Revolver and the Pike. Compared to its parents, the Repeater stats are representative of the world striving for mediocrity, and with a reload time that's able to make my grandmother roll over in her grave so that she could die again, Embark really needs to allow players to use the speed loader when they have less than 3 bullets, because otherwise, everything just feels clunky and slow. It has a reload speed of a Model 1887, the fire rate of a light sniper, and the damage of a Revolver. Almost every player could tell that this gun was weak during the closed beta, but here we are. Looking at the overall stats of this weapon, you'll quickly notice that the CB-01 is nowhere to be found at the top of the charts. The Pike is fairly dominant, but it only loses out to the Revolver in the kind of slower fire rate category because the recoil makes it a little bit funky. I always say that it's better to play the guns that you find fun in games, but in this case, I really find it hard to believe that anybody is finding the Repeater more fun to use than the Pike or the Revolver, because you can actually do things with those guns, while with CB-01 you kind of just flounder around and sit there reloading and shoving bullets into your magazine. Okay, so just as clarification for this next part, I am gauging which one is like killing the person first by when the health bar fully disappears from the frame, and I'm syncing them all up so that when the muzzle flash first appears on all of them and the sound cue appears, they're all starting at the same time, so it's completely fair. Okay, so it's just a concluding statement, and this isn't scripted, so I'm just going to be rambling here. The CB-01 is awful. It's not just the reload that's slow, it's just everything with the weapon. It feels slow to use, it feels clunky to use, it doesn't kill anything fast compared to literally everything other gun in the game. Like compared to lights guns, compared to heavies guns, the CB-01 is just so underpowered, and Embark really needs to balance it in the next balance patch, because if they don't, it's going to fall out of use completely, and it's just going to become like another one of the light, like the M26 Matter, which is completely ignored by Embark, even though it was one of the most popular guns at the start of Season 4, it is now completely dead. And it's kind of the same with the Pike, which is interesting, because the Pike is still really good. As you saw in this video, it has faster body shot kills than the Revolver does, but people still don't use it as much just because it doesn't have the same 59 damage that it did when it was released in Season 4. So that's just kind of a stubbornness thing. But anyways, that's it for me. Bye.